Welcome back. I will now be previewing all of Week 11's games on Sunday and Monday as well, right now. Starting with the Chicago Bears and the Atlanta Falcons. Coming into this matchup, the Chicago Bears are sitting at 3-7, while the Atlanta Falcons are sitting at 4-6. For one team in the Bears, it seems as though this season might just be lost, and catching up to the Vikings at this point is going to be almost impossible. Kirk Cousins is playing out of his mind, and that offense, especially with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, that is a dangerous group for sure. So for the Bears, they could very easily be playing for pride at this point, while the Atlanta Falcons are only a game behind the Buccaneers for first place in that division. I'm going to give the edge to the Falcons. I just believe that being the home team obviously has an advantage, but there's no guarantees. But I just truly believe that they really want to try to prove that they can compete with the Buccaneers in that division, and they should get the victory in this matchup. The Carolina Panthers are heading into Baltimore to take on the Ravens. The Panthers are coming into this matchup sitting at 3-7. The Ravens are sitting at 6-3. For the Panthers, they're technically only 2 games behind the Bucs for the division, so anything can happen. But I just believe that it's just going to be too tough a hill to climb, even though Baker is back under center. And I don't know if it's a coincidence that they named him the starter playing against the Ravens when he played for the Browns, but as fate would have it, he is now playing his former AFC foe. And Lamar Jackson on the other side of things, I'm not 100% sure if I read this correctly, but saying he might be injured, but I'm not too sure if I am mistaken on that. And he is able to play. I'm sure he'll play lights out as he is still trying to play for his contract. And the better he plays, the more money he's going to earn. I will give the edge to the Ravens in this one. The Cleveland Browns are taking on the Buffalo Bills. Now, due to the crazy amount of snow that Buffalo is getting, the game is actually being relocated to Detroit at Ford Field. The Browns are coming into this matchup sitting at 3-6, while the Bills, after a very tough loss last week to the Vikings, are sitting at 6-3, and they are now in danger of potentially losing first place in that AFC East division. Despite the fact they are not at home, I will give the edge to the Bills. I just believe that Josh Allen is trying to prove that, yeah, they've had some bad luck and they aren't looking at like the team they were last year or the year before that, but I truly believe they are still a contender in my eyes. So therefore, I will give the edge to the Bills in this matchup. The Washington Commanders are heading into Houston to take on the Texans. The Texans this season is definitely a lost cause. They're at 1-7-1. Obviously, the playoffs at this point are way out of the picture. As for the Commanders, despite the fact that they're sitting at 5-5, that NFC, especially when it comes to those wildcard positions, other than the Cowboys and the Giants, it seems like that third position could be up in the air. So I'm sure they want to try to get a victory under their belts to stay in contention in that wildcard position. And you want to talk about a team that's had its ups and downs. Last week, probably the biggest up of the season, as they upset the only undefeated team in their NFC East rivals in the Philadelphia Eagles. So therefore, I believe Taylor Heineke will be a key in this matchup, and they should get the victory. Speaking of said Eagles, they are heading into Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Eagles are sitting at 8-1. The Colts are sitting at 4-5-1. Justin Hurts taking on Matt Ryan, unless the other quarterback happens to come back into play. But I believe Ryan, after getting the start last week, still should be under center, especially since they got the victory. For the Colts, this has been a disappointing season, to say the least. It's going to be tough if they want to try to get back into contention in their division, as the Titans are just playing out of their minds. So if the Colts were to get the victory, maybe they could slowly try to creep into a playoff spot, which they were expected to get in, especially when you have Matt Ryan under center. I believe the edge will go to the Eagles. I believe they have a chip on their shoulder. They're trying to prove that they should have won last week, but they didn't, and they want to get back in that win column, as that NFC East is sure getting mighty close with the Giants and Cowboys breathing down their neck. An AFC East matchup in the New York Jets and the New England Patriots. The Jets are sitting at 6-3, while the Patriots are sitting at 5-4. And at the start of the season, I didn't think both these teams would be in contention for a playoff spot, let alone in a contention to try and catch up to the Bills for the division. But if the Jets should happen to win and the Bills should happen to lose, they would be in first place. And for the Jets, it's been a long time coming since they have seen the postseason action. I believe the Mark Sanchez era was the last time the Jets made the postseason. I'm going to give the edge to the Jets in this one. I'm not going to lie to you. Even though the Patriots are very well and they still have Bill Belichick, who is a definite Hall of Fame coach in my mind, I believe the Jets are going to try to get the better of them. And they really haven't had that much success against the Patriots. Obviously, when I had Tom Brady under center. But I just believe that Zach Wilson will get a victory in Boston. The Los Angeles Rams are heading into New Orleans. The Rams are coming into this matchup sitting at 3-6, while the Saints are sitting at 3-7. For the playoffs, I believe both these teams are really fighting for their lives. The Saints, even though they're sitting at 3-7 and they're tied with the Carolina Panthers, they're only 2 games behind the Buccaneers for first place in that division. So anything can happen. It is the weakest division in the entire NFL. As for the Rams, Stafford I'm not sure if he's questionable or if he's just not starting, but without him, the Rams are showing their true colors that they need an MVP quarterback style, or they need a quarterback with experience, because you look at this team last year and you look at the team this year, they're a shell of themselves. I never would have guessed that the Rams would be in this position, but this is where they're at. I'm going to give the edge to the Saints. I believe Alvin Kamara should be in for a good game. I mean, we have a running back of his caliber, and he can catch it as well. They are a definite threat to get the victory. Detroit Lions are heading into New York to take on the Giants. Detroit is sitting at 3-6, while the New York Giants are sitting at 7-2 and very comfortable in an NFC wildcard position. I'm going to give the edge to Daniel Jones in this matchup. I just believe that they are trying to prove that they haven't had that much success in his era since he took over the job from Eli Manning. And the last time the Giants made the postseason was the 2016-2017 season. So that is going to be a long time coming, as long as they can stay in contention, stay consistent, and stay winning for the remainder of their schedule. So therefore, I do believe the Giants should get the victory against the Lions. The Cowboys are taking on the Vikings. The Cowboys are playing it like a team that most likely should get into the postseason, unless for some reason they have bad luck or injuries or whatever the case may be. They're sitting at 6-3, while the Vikings, I believe, are the best team in the NFC, sitting at 8-1. I'm going to give the edge to Kirk Cousins in this one. I just believe that they should get the victory. And like I said, they are such a threat, especially when you have Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook. Even though the Cowboys do have Dak back, I just believe it's going to be a really tough test for the Cowboys in this matchup. The Bengals are taking on the Steelers. Cincinnati is coming into this matchup at 5-4, trying to stay in that AFC North hunt, while the Steelers are sitting at 3-6. Definitely a rebuild year, especially after losing Big Ben. I will give the edge to Joe Burrow. I believe the Bengals are just that good of a team. Even though they don't have Jamar Chase in the lineup, they should get the victory over their AFC North rivals. The 49ers are taking on... Oh, I do apologize. I forgot one other game. It was the Broncos and the Raiders. 2 AFC West foes and 2 teams that are definitely struggling, to say the least, after such high expectations in the offseason. The Raiders are coming in at 2-7, while the Broncos are coming in at 3-6. So just a game separates both these teams. And if you didn't know this already, the Raiders already beat the Broncos earlier in the season. So even though they've had the same record, the Raiders actually bounce up to 3rd place in that division. I'm going to give the edge to the Raiders in this one. Even though I am a diehard Broncos fan, it absolutely kills me to see how they're doing this season. I just believe that Derek Carr just has the Broncos number. And if you look at the stats since Peyton Manning has left, the Broncos have struggled against their AFC West rival teams, especially against the Chiefs. Chargers, we've been kind of iffy about. We can maybe get a split, but the Raiders just seem to have our number. I'm not sure what it is, so I will give the edge to Derek Carr and Devontae, they should get the W in the Mile High City. Now, getting into Monday's matchup, the San Francisco 49ers and the Arizona Cardinals. The 49ers are sitting at 5-4, second place in that division, while the Cardinals are struggling. They are sitting at 4-6. I'm going to give the edge to Jimmy G. I just believe his experience and when you have a coach like Kyle Shanahan, who obviously had taken the team to the Super Bowl just 3 seasons ago, I just believe they have really good chemistry and they should get the victory over Kyler Murray and company. And I do apologize that it's extremely blurry, but that can't be fixed at this point as I am at the end of the video. So until next time, again, I apologize for the blurriness. Take care.